Let's do one more poll before we get into tonight's topic. Let's do one more poll, Jen, or my other moderator, whichever one y'all want to do it. But I'm just going to tell you what I want you to put in there. How many people think that Big Joe pays $500 per wig? Let's do that poll. And that's going to give me enough time to get ready. They're going to put up a poll, guys. Hold on. Dr. Tracy says no. Okay, here's the poll, guys. The poll is up. Oh, we didn't have to do a 5-minute poll, but we'll see. We'll just pull it down early. Go ahead and vote, guys. No 5-minute polls, though, y'all, next time. Go ahead and vote, guys. Go ahead and vote. I'm looking at the results in real time. How many people think that Big Joe pays $500 per wig out of 357 people? Woo! This I love this engagement, guys. You guys got me over here just smiling. Oh, well, we don't have to let this poll go on. So let me just tell you this. 92.11%, 92.21% say no, and 7.79% say true. Okay. Final poll. How many people would like to see me when I go live all the time, get on and do my little dancing, and then get into the day's topic? Do y'all want to see my face all the time? See what my little outfits I'm wearing? You want me to start cooking in the kitchen? Or are they going to say I'm obsessed and I'm trying to copy? When I was the one first cooking. Poll is in the left corner, y'all. We got a few seconds. While this poll, we got a minute left in the poll, and we got to get in our topics, y'all. I'm going to play a little music for a second while it's going on. Something to give me some energy. Music gives me energy.
How can you get new name brand furniture, tech, or appliances when you don't have the cash or credit to...
Hey, Daddy, when you gonna stop playing? Bad bitch, I could be a fantasy. I can tell you got big, deep energy. It ain't too many niggas that can handle me, but I might let you try it off the Hennessy. Make them sing to this pussy like a melody. And if your bitch ain't right, I got the remedy. It ain't too many niggas that can handle me. Bad bitch, I could be a fantasy. Tell me how you want it. 3, 2, 1 and I'm on it. Feel good, don't it? Good bitch, fuck you in a bunny. I'ma bust it on the pole like honest. I'm just being honest. Pussy juicy, mini made, but can't do it 1 minute, man. Not a side or a main. I'm the only bitch he entertain. Spending his mind in the bank. I like what I see. A boss like you need a boss like me. Daddy from the street, so he move low key. Tryna rock that mic like karaoke. On the count of 3, bad bitch, you get money. Broke niggas to the left, we don't want it. I'm the one these bitches hate, but they can't get past. Pretty face, no waist, and a big old ass. Bad bitch, I could be a fantasy. I can tell you got big, deep energy.
Alrighty. So I wanna touch bases before we get into this. How many people think that the hairstylist backpedaled on that show, Sip and Hip Hop something? Who thinks that hairstylist backpedaled? And let me tell you, absolutely. Hello, Jessica. Absolutely, she did. Yes, she did. And she watered it down, and she came after Carlos. Carlos was the down guy, the fall guy. Carlos was the person that needed to take the fall. Carlos has been the fall person. And it's quite interesting to me that that nobody seems to see that Carlos, hold on, y'all. Let me screenshot something. These people are sick in here. Okay. So anyhow, absolutely she backpedaled. And I already posted on it, I call cap. Now, what she said in that interview that I have looked at and listened to her is she sugarcoated it and she downplayed it. But if it wasn't that serious, why did she do all the posting that she did? If she wasn't angry at Big Joe and trying to shoot digs at Big Joe, why would you do that? Then for you to get up there and just water down everything and turn it over to Carlos. It's Carlos. But can you guys tell me this? How many of you would go, if you were a hairdresser, and would go in business dealing with somebody who you don't talk to over the phone? She claims all their communication was over Instagram and other social media, but they never talked on the phone. I wouldn't feel comfortable dealing with anybody like that. What do you guys think? One says clock it, the other one says the lies, the other one says she's starving and needs business, someone else says she wanted clout, another one says I agree with you, agreed, she was trying to get recognized. Absolutely, yes, all of the above, and let me tell you why. Clout is the main thing, and let me tell you why. The last thing she should have been wanting to do is get clout when her last duty as a hairstylist was to piece together a synthetic wig with human hair to fit on Big Joe. That's not something I would want to be recognized for doing. Intertwining synthetic hair and blending it together with human hair. That's not what I would want to do if I was a hairstylist. Y'all may be thinking differently, but that's my opinion. Another thing, it came off to me, and what do you ladies think? It came off to me that she was acting like Big Joe's publicist. It came off that she was trying to act like his publicist. She was doing damage control. She was co-signing that he got money, that he ain't broke, and she just knew so much about him and how he grew up. The publish, not publicist, the publish. And you know, all of that, like auditioning for a job. It was like she was literally auditioning for a job. I didn't know if she was really real life like the new manager or the new publicist for him, or doing damage control, because that's what I seen. And the reason why I started to put it together was the next day Big Joe showed up. Did y'all see Big Joe show up? And let me tell you, Big Joe had no harsh feelings for her. Everything, that check cleared, right? Her check cleared, her cash pay, her Apple Pay cleared. And when they said, well, do you want to get paid? She said, no. So why did you do this? If it wasn't about you getting paid, why did you do this? Why did you go on that YouTuber's channel? If you didn't want anything, why did you go? Google Pay for clout. It was always about the money. She was trying to get a come up. Yeah, I know, for 15 minutes of fame. Yeah, because like I said, she was talking. Now, didn't she say, you guys, that she didn't know who Big Joe was? She never talked to Big Joe. She asked Carlos for Big Joe's number and he never gave it to her. If I'm doing the client's hair, now this is what don't make sense. She said that she did Big Joe's hair twice. Why didn't you get his number yourself the first time you did his hair? Why didn't you get his number the first time you did his hair? I'm not working for no client without having their personal phone number. And anybody knows who goes to hairdressers, to real hairdressers? Anybody knows who goes to real hairdressers that knows who goes to real hairdressers that they you call the hairdresser, you talk on the telephone with the hairdresser. You are not just texting. There's a communication, especially when you're working for a private client. You cannot tell me that I call Cap just as sure as she was sitting there talking about her granddad taught her not to lie, so she tells the truth. Baby, let me tell you something. And let me address one thing before we get started, because I can see the trolls are in here. Let me just say this one last time, and I swear I'm not going to address this no more. Let me address this one comment right here. If you guys think that something I did 15 to 20 years ago has any adversary effect on me, whether it was the lottery, whether it was whatever 20 years ago, it does not mean anything to me. It may mean something to you because you just heard it, but it means nothing to me. I'm not embarrassed about it. It's 20 years ago. You can relive that all you want to, but don't bring it to me because I don't take that energy in. I have nothing to be ashamed about. I paid my debt to society and I have moved on. Post stuff that I've done within the last 10 years. Run a criminal check in the last 10 years and see what you find. Zilch. Now, let me move on. Back to our topic. Ma'am, what do you have to say before we get started? Facial fun, unmute.
Okay. So, Miss Hillary, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. A few lives back, you had said that you was in the lobby of the BET Awards. Did you go down to LA when they were down there?
What's your question? See, let me tell you something. You're not doing an interview on me. I'm not answering your questions because you're trying to figure out how I got my information and what I got. We're not doing that. I'm not answering your questions about anything. I know what I have, I know what has happened, and I stand by what I have said. Separate from the video that you guys see, the three of them people being detained, Big Joe was detained separately, like I said, and I ain't changing it. He can sue me if he feels the need to do that. Other than that, I'm sticking to what the evidence says and what the facts say. What's up, ma'am? Unmute.
What's going on, Hillary?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
That's good. I hope everything is going well for you. I know it is, because you are the queen of the breakdown.
Baby, listen. It was so funny to me how that woman did 10 steps backwards and all I could see is her publicist. She was Big Joe's publicist. She don't know about Big Joe having no money. Big Joe just started a YouTube channel. She said she used to do YouTube and didn't she say that? Didn't she say I used to do YouTube? So I know they got money.
That whole interview was nothing but a whole bunch of malarkey.
It was a bunch of malarkey.
It was crazy.
It seemed like it was already scripted. If you notice, the host and her both said, well, Hillary did tell the truth, but she sprinkled some lies with it.
Right. So what was the truth?
What was the truth, number one? And then number two, what was like? See, what it is that the only people, let me just break this down as best I can to you. The only people who truly know what happened and who was there with my own two eyes, Big Joe, Big Joe, security officers, Los Angeles police, and of course, when they got separated, radio. So I don't know what the big hoopla is. Remember when Big Joe told the story, he never mentioned nothing about being stopped.
Yep, and I'm going to tell you this. The LAPD did show up to there, and I did put in a Freedom of Information request because I want to get to the nitty-gritty of this, and I want to see why the hell you were trespassed. I want to see the report associated with it and all that. Big Joe, we on your neck, and we not coming off.
So, and like I said, please don't come in here talking about any other creator. I don't care if God got receipts. I'm talking, this is Hillary Sanchez's show. Don't come in here mentioning no other creator in my comments or you will be blocked. Go ahead, sweetie.
And I was gonna mention somebody, but like I said, we're coming for you, Big Joe. This is just the beginning.
But we're the ones delusional. We're obsessed and all of this, but we're just obsessed with the truth, holding him accountable for his actions, holding him accountable for his actions in the things that he has done. That's what we're doing. And so we're not going to worry about things that these supporters and they haters coming in here. I'm not going to let you guys even get me distracted. Moderators, I want y'all to get these haters out of here. They say one comment. I shouldn't even get to see the comment before you zap them. Just zap them. As soon as they open their mouth, zap them.
Yep. Yeah, but they know good and well that they was never at no BET Awards. And I'm gonna lay this out on the flow because we doing that all 2024, right? So let me lay this out to you, and you tell me what you think. I think Big Joe, the girl that was doing the hair, and Carlos were all in on it, on getting that girl, not paying that girl. I think they were all in cahoots to do that.
Wait a
What you
minute.
think?
Wait a minute now. Do you remember? Were you in my very first live when I really broke it down? You
Maybe.
you weren't in the live. Is Black Buffy in here? Is any of my moderators? Oh, I know one of my moderators was in here too. Is Dana in here?
Danny was
Okay,
probably.
so Dana, you were in the live when I said that Big Joe. Listen to me now, sweetheart, in the panel. Dana, were you in my live when I said that Big Joe was seen on video in a Walmart and Walgreens with other people doing something unauthorized? Yes or no? Do you remember me saying that? You remember when I said that? What she say? I didn't see her comment. You see her comment?
Yeah, you did say that.
Okay. Now, what did you say just a second ago? You got to unmute.
Say that again, Hillary. I didn't hear
Didn't
it.
you say, what did you say that she was in cahoots to do?
I think they were in cahoots to never pay that girl. I think they wanted to get a free makeup session from her. And I believe wholeheartedly that Big Joe, Carlos, and Radio all schemed and scammed that girl.
Well, I can say allegedly what I feel about it, and that's what I can do. I have a right to say that. But here's my suspicion. There is no question in my mind that there was some behind the scenes conversations before they appeared on that YouTuber's show. There were conversations that she would go first, and the next day Big Joe would go. It was already planned out. What do you think?
And that's the crazy thing about it for me, because why didn't they get on the live together and hash that out?
But no one is worried about. But let me say this. It's so funny to me. Nobody, I don't care. I'm Hillary. I came here on this app myself, and I'm doing what I choose to do, which is right. And so I don't care what you think, what somebody says who don't like me. I don't care. I'm unbothered.
Yep.
I'm unbothered, and I'm undetermined.
Yep.
Undeterred.
Undeterred. Yeah.
Undeterred.
Yep. I totally agree with you. But like I said, I believe that they were all in on it and not paying that girl, because and then here's the other thing. That what about that fake ass yesterday when she said, "Oh, I fired Carlos," and then she did it on the live. What do you think about that?
Honey, let me tell you. I think that was all, they all knew that was going to happen, probably except Carlos.
So you think that she fired him, or that Big Joe fired him without Carlos knowing about it? You think that was really genuine? Do you really think that Netta would get up on a live with hundreds and thousands of people and say he's fired now without giving him any knowledge about it?
Let me say this. Let me say this. Netta's brand, it's all cap. Let me tell you. Netta's brand has been damaged. Netta's brand has been damaged by no fault of Netta's. This was all done out of damage control. She had to do something. You have to understand, sweetie, somebody had to take the fall. And what we know about this, is this, that somebody had to take the fall beside Big Joe. And he's the boss. So he ain't taking the fall. So then who's left? But you know, I don't believe that there is a Roy. I don't believe that there ever was a Roy as a publish. How is it that Big Joe, can you guys hear me? Okay. How is it that Big Joe, is the only person in the world who's an icon who has a publish and a manager that no other celebrity or icon has? He's the only one that has, they're their only client. That's number one. Number two, why is it that you went forward with anything else after he let you down the first time on the birthday and didn't do what he said he was supposed to do? Why did you continually move forward with doing things with this man when he didn't stand on business the first time? Am I making any sense, or am I, because I seem like I'm not making any sense.
No, honey, you are hitting it right on the head. And let's add to that. Why, when you made that video about what happened, you did not state that my publisher and my manager is the ones that are at fault for this, and come on there and be very strong about that? We didn't hear about that until you got on 2K. When you got on 2K, do you want to run around and say, oh, well, it was because of Carlos. Carlos did this. He never said one time that was the reason. Not once.
But then let's take it this way. Let's take it this way. So what happened was Big Joe said that they hired a publish. Big Joe didn't even know Roy's last name. Who are you allowing to seek out things and book things and do all this stuff, and you don't know nothing about them, and you didn't do your due diligence to do a background check? You sure been looking into my background in my past 15 and 20 years ago, but you didn't do a background check on your publicist and your manager? Make that make sense.
Okay. Clock it, Auntie.
And you didn't even know his name. Am I preaching?
So how you ain't know his name, but you paying the man? Aren't you paying them? Or are they walking around here doing this stuff for free?
I mean, let's be serious. You have spent more due diligence pulling up old stuff on me 15 and 20 years ago and plastering it all over TikTok than you did for your own person who represents your brand, and taking you and booking you in all these places and telling you you doing this, you going to the BET Awards, and you didn't even know this ninja's name. I almost said the other word. And you didn't even know this ninja's name. Let's get real.
Let's get real. Wake it up, Auntie. Wake it up. Put it on the floor.
In 2024. And
okay.
So this is what we know. This is what we know. There's no question in my mind. And see, I won't disrespect that African American hairstylist that called me a liar. But what I will do is I will read her down this way. I call cap. You went there and you backtracked. You talked to Big Joe on that phone. Whatever conversations y'all had, you knew what to say, and it was all scripted. There was absolutely nothing genuine about what you did up there besides trying to seek clout and cover up and minimize the damage that Joe has done to Joe's brand. Joe has done this all himself, running his big fat mouth.
Clock it. Okay.
And
Run it
and
out.
let's stay there for a second. Remember, remember, remember that Hillary lied about everything. Nobody got detained, nothing this, nothing that. And what video comes out? Big Joe, just like that lady said, was nervous. He was called Holiday Heart, one of the most disrespectful things that somebody could have called him. He was called Holiday Heart twice to his face, and he hugged him, and he hugged the dude, and he took a picture with the dude.
Ain't that something? Ain't that something?
And so here's the tea. So then what is it in this equation that we know to be factual? Let me clock the tea back. When Big Joe got in that car spitting lies, he said he had left his wallet at the hotel in ID. Now, y'all know this. I don't care what nobody says. If you go to a club, you go to a bar, you gotta take your ID. I don't know why Big Joe didn't take one of his Birkins, one of them Louis, or that Gucci with him on the carpet.
Right. Especially at the BET Awards. You would need identification to get in.
Yeah. And so the thing is, when you look at it, he tried to cover it up, because see, what they tried to do was bait me. They were trying to bait me to show my hand, because they wanted to know what to say and what not to say. Go ahead.
They wanted to see what you had.
They
Exactly.
they wanted to see what I had, because they already knew. They already knew. The ones who really knew what I knew was Big Joe at that time. It was Big Joe, Carlos, and Radio. Those were the three people that knew I knew. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
Yep.
them three knew. Now, I heard that lady say I was lying. That lady is in no pictures with them. She was in no pictures with them, and she wasn't at no bar drinking with them. She was nowhere around. So how could she call me a liar?
Yep. And how can she attest to Big Joe saying that Big Joe paid for everything when he said himself, somebody sent us drinks, but then also turned around and said that Charles paid for it with Apple Pay or Google Pay? What's the truth?
I'll tell you the truth.
They walked out and tried to dine and dash.
That it was a dine and dash, and they didn't realize that AI software was working overtime, and the security was in place, and they got stopped.
And they was eating chicken wings off of people's plates that had just left.
And they was eating already. The man ate 2 chicken wings off of a basket, and there was fries, and the rest of it was chicken. And Big Joe sat there and scarfed it down.
Honey, yes, that's some new tea dropped, y'all. That's some new tea. Big Joe ate off a stranger's plate.
And how does he say it? And how does he say that phrase? And I did to the T.I. is?
Hillary, I'm not about to play with you.
So, and we know that Big Joe don't have no decorum. We know that. I'm not eating off of no stranger's plate that then ate 2 chicken wings and sucked on the bones and put them back in the basket, and then he get the basket and he eat like it was his basket. I'm not doing that.
And here's the other thing: if Big Joe was as iconic as he would like to think that he is, even though he has a manager and he got all these people on his team and all that other stuff, you always kind of got to go behind people, especially when it's dealing with your money, when it's dealing with your time, because his whole platform is crumbling.
And did you hear how Big Joe avoided the question about his high school diploma?
Yes.
He said that, yeah, I just got a 4th grade education.
Icons are eating off plates. Chicken wings, French fries, and scarfing it down like a Hoover vacuum, honey.
Now, let me pause this and let me say something to y'all. Have y'all been on TikTok a while? Yes or no? Have you been on TikTok more than 10 months?
I have.
Okay. So you remember when me and Aunt Karen had got into it and they had told them about my past all them years ago. Remember when that was going on?
Oh, yes, honey. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So why do you think that I would be bothered now if I wasn't bothered then? And they did that for 7 days. Remember? It was every day, all day panels on me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but ask yourself this question. You remember that, y'all? Oh, I see everybody saying they remember. Now ask yourself this question. Why did they go on attack against me? Why did you go on attack against little old Hillary if you such an icon and you silence me? Why would you tell your icons to attack her? Oh, I know. I remember you, Empress. I remember you, Empress. I sure do. A lot of people who supported me back then, I remembered them. I remember that. But that's the thing what I'm telling y'all. There is a dead rat up the line. Something doesn't smell right. And I'm going to tell you what. Big Joe and that hairstylist pillow talked. And then the strategic strategy was Carlos is going to be the bad guy. So she goes on first to talk bad about Carlos. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. I only dealt with Carlos. I didn't deal with. She was setting the stage for Big Joe to come on. She was. Yep. Oh, you were from day one too, Daryl? Thank you. Yes, she was setting the stage for Big Joe to come on. I want to find Carlos. I want to find Carlos. I want to find Carlos. I want to speak to Carlos. And we can take this to my big platform. I want to talk to Carlos. He went live on IG. Did he talk about anything, Dana? Carlos, hi. You know everything.
Honey, they trying to put everything on Carlos as if this was all his fault. And it may have been all his fault, but at the end of the day,
But what I get you, sweetie, but this is what I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
And hear me out. And I know we got business people in here, and I know you're a businesswoman. Yes. Hear me out. if you got somebody working for you, whatever that person does under the law, they're your agent. So if Carlos booked somebody and didn't pay them on the behalf of Joe, Joe can legally be held responsible in court for
Clock it.
Carlos' actions.
Clock it.
Do you hear me?
That's exactly what I was about to say. Clock it.
Anything that Carlos did up until he was fired, Joe is responsible for.
Yep, and Joe is responsible to pay that girl. And if
Now, listen,
he
baby,
necessary to get the
woman,
money out of
I don't care.
Carlos, then
I
he
don't
needs to
have
get it.
no proof of this. I don't have no proof of this, but what my gut tells me is that girl was paid. That one that was on that show was paid by Joe. Maybe not for the hair, but for that for damage control. You can't tell me. You can't tell me that the way all them posts that she was doing and doing all that posting she was doing, and then she got up there and did that about face. Most definitely, she got some money.
So you think that she was paid by Big Joe to get up there and talk sweet?
Yes, absolutely. I don't have no proof of that, but that's what I feel. That's what I feel. I feel that woman was paid off. Because
I don't think it happened before.
let me tell you why. The only thing that should have came out her mouth was her dealing with Carlos and her not getting paid or wanting to get paid.
Right.
She didn't have no business talking about I lied, because it didn't have nothing to do with her, because she wasn't around. She was not there to speak on nothing. So she had a bias and it showed. And I'm going to tell you something else. That Turkey guy, what's his name? Turkish? What's that? How you say that dude's name?
2K.
2K was just as impartial and biased also against Carlos and me. He was just as biased to Carlos and to me. He was in there with them loaded questions. Anybody that didn't, he was screening the room, what they were saying, and everything else like that. It was all a smoke show. Mirrors. It was smoke and mirrors. Both days.
And he was doing all types of shots and jabs, and calling Charles Mrs. Charles. Like, he was doing a whole lot, and he knew what he was doing, and he knew what the hell he was saying. Calling you out of your name, calling you Easter eggs and all types of shit.
I know, but then slid up in my DMs and asked me to go on his show.
No, thank you.
And and here's another thing to clock. Did you hear when Charles was talking on that show? Joe was across the table, mumbling his lines to him. When Charles got done talking and Joe went over there, Joe stayed over there, but Joe stayed in the front of Charles, out of camera view, so he could keep Charles on
so he can keep him on point.
Keep Charles on script.
Yep.
If you think I'm joking, go back and watch it.
No, you are telling the truth, the absolute truth.
And that's what radio. We already know radio is just like the blind leading the blind, but nobody's talking about this. Remember, Joe told us that they were supposed to be going to the concert. Now, how is that hairstylist attesting to conversations with the manager and this and that? And she didn't have no business speaking on no Roy. Roy didn't have nothing to do with her, but she was up there talking like she knew Joe. No, what it was
I understand that.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. That threw me off. Like, what really threw me off was that she was talking about everything else and very minimum on the hair situation. She was supposed to be up there for the hair situation and her not being paid. But instead, she went on a tangent. She was talking about everything else up under the sun and how you're lying and everybody else is like, she did her big one. She worked for her money that Big Joe sent her. Period.
Absolutely. There's no question in the mind. Candy P, welcome in.
Hi, I just wanted to say it's pretty obvious that Joe is a liar. He's a habitual pathological liar. But what the frustrating part about it is that he wants you to believe what he's made up in his head. And that's when I knew that he was scary, because anybody with common sense, you don't have to be a celebrity, but anybody know the height of America and the gun violence. You're not going to any award show or anywhere where there's lots of celebrities without clearance. Joe never had an itinerary to even leave Sylacauga, Alabama. So why in the hell would you take your ass to Los Angeles, California without giving proper documentation to be allowed into the BET Awards? That's first. Yes. When we have meetings at my job, you have to, for the commissioners meeting, we have to sign in, although we are employees, because they want to know who's in the room. So you mean to tell me you left Alabama, got on a plane with no itinerary, you had never even seen an invitation, and you're blaming Carlos? What adult in their right mind flies across the country to walk in a hotel lobby you're not even supposed to be in? That's first. Secondly, he kept saying, oh, I just wanted to walk the red carpet. I just wanted to walk the red carpet. Well, if I go to Disney World, the objective is not for me to stand at the gate. I want to go inside and ride the rides. Who goes to the red carpet and not even get to pinch a celebrity, not even to rub noses or to get a cocktail in the midst of celebrities? He is a liar. I don't care what they say about you, Hillary. Joe is a liar. And Charles is going along with it because he doesn't know how to say, this went too far. I'm not really into this man, but I got to play the part, because if I don't, it'll crash the money. The coins will stop. That's all it is. It's a facade. It is not real.
But can you give me your opinion on, do you agree that there was pillow talk between that hairstylist and Big Joe before she took that?
There was, because he stated more than one time, he asked her, why did you throw me under the bus? Why would you have to ask that if you had already paid her?
Exactly.
You have to ask any questions if it was true. She had said that she I'm not doing anything for free for an icon. You're going to pay me. You're going to pay me. And I do believe the comments where they say Charles is scared of Netta. He is. Why would Netta have his head on Charles' shoulder reading the script? We can literally see his mouth moving like a ventriloquist and him feeding Charles his lines. What in the hell was that about? That was like me at church when my son has an Easter speech and I want him to do it right. Come on, baby, say the right words. That's what he was doing to Charles. He was coaching Charles. So we can imagine what happened behind closed doors. There's no way an adult in their right mind would get on a plane and not have an itinerary. I want an itinerary for a vacation.
And that's what I alluded to earlier. I said, why would Joe, even if, it's Carlos's problem, that everybody's blaming it on Carlos, whatever. But at the end of the day, Joe, you're supposed to make sure that everything is in place. You make sure that everything is in order. Yeah, you have the manager, but sometimes they slip up.
Correct.
And you gotta go
Joe
behind.
is pushing this wagon with no wheels. That's all it is. Joe is pushing the wagon with no wheels. There's no plan.
I got another theory.
It's like, for one,
it's like getting veneers with no teeth.
I don't believe he has a third grade education. Yeah, I don't believe Joe has a third grade education, because when he said, "Let me reliterate," I said, "What the fuck is he trying to say? Is he trying to say reiterate?" He can't speak. He's illiterate. Charles don't never know what's going on. It's like, I mean, it's like I want to stop watching them, but it's so entertaining that two people could be so goddamn dumb that I can't. This not country bunkum slow. This is, I can only read with my finger. The cat ran fast. The dog stopped slow. This this kind of dumb. It's not even because I'm from the country, so I know what these two are fucking slow, and it doesn't make any sense. Bigfoot graduated from the swamp. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It gives very much. I sat in one classroom all day in high school, and I did not rotate classes. It gives. I sat in the portable all day. They are slow.
Screen, guys.
But I'm going to drop down so somebody else can come in.
No.
Henry, I love you down. I'm riding with you.
Wait, I love you too, but stay up here. You don't go nowhere. I love you too. You stay here.
Okay.
Welcome in, ma'am. How are you?
Hello. I've been waiting patiently to talk to you.
How are you?
I'm good. I've been with you since the beginning, even on Instagram.
Wow, that's a long time.
Oh, yeah. So I've been loyal.
Okay, so what do you have to add to the conversation?
Well, as you know, being a lady, when we go to the hairdresser, we use our phone, we talk. The hairdresser really gets to know us. They get privy to certain conversations. I think that she has a lot of behind the scenes information that they don't want to get out.
You think so?
I do. I really do, because if she was in there for more than a couple of hours, she saw interactions, she overheard conversations, all of that. As a hairdresser, I mean, they're just basically doing hair and listening and taking it all in.
So did you see the post that she put up on, what was all over social media that she posted up?
I saw some of the things, and at first I did kind of feel like she got scammed, but the more I looked at it, I said, no, that's not it. She knows something and they don't want her to tell it.
And so do you agree that when I said I suspect she was paid off?
I do too. I think somewhere along the way she did get paid, because she really didn't drop something. They let some things slip during the time that the hairdresser was there. They let some things slip or drop, and they don't want it to get out because it's all a farce to me. It's just like an act.
Mm-hmm.
That's what.
It's very much giving cover up something that happened.
Yeah, you know, when you go to the hairdresser, you be on the phone, you be texting.
Well, also, Joe was insecure. He's always insecure when a cisgender woman is around Charles. He's always insecure. He becomes very like mouthy and combative when women are in the atmosphere, because he knows Charles is attracted to women. He said it on the Auntie podcast. What if, when Tia Kim asked, what if Charles wanted some PUSSY? And she, oh, well, he can get it. Not from you. We know what you got. We done seen that shrimp all over TikTok. Joe is very insecure. He is jealous. And I wouldn't be surprised if he got Charles literally by the balls, scared to leave.
Well, Charles said that he's not working anymore.
He's stuck now, because I wouldn't have never quit that job to follow behind Joe and his fantasy, because that's exactly what it is.
But just
everybody knows social media is a minute. You got 1 minute to make it happen.
Well, just think about all the flack. Well, think about all the flack he got from being on a job and people knowing Netta is his wife or husband, or I don't know what that is. But, and another thing about Charles is he said he doesn't have a driver's license. He never had a driver's license or something.
No, I think his license is suspended. But even so, to say you have all that money, you get to pay that ticket off.
But why is he still driving? Isn't that illegal?
I don't know, but someone threatened to call the police on him the other day when they were leaving Metro PCS.
Well, he drives to Alabama because he took her to Family Dollar. Why is he doing that?
It doesn't make any sense.
And it doesn't make any sense. Do we have anybody ever seen them put any chemicals into the pool or the hot tub? I need to know this.
That's water from the water.
Nothing but tap water. That is tap water. That's actually water from the Alabama lake up the street. That's water from the swamp. Because that water is always mop water gray. Always.
Ladies, I told y'all already what go in that pool. When Netta gets up and raise up and pull them fake Chanel bathing suits out his butt, he go to peeing and pooting in that pool.
But what I don't understand is why the extra army up under the bathing suit? Why don't you want coverage for that? See, a real lady. My grandma, both of my grandmothers were ladies, and you didn't leave the house any kind of way. Joe came up out that water like the Loch Ness monster, and he didn't care what flab was flabbing, and he tried to twerk with that booty pad on, and it was soaking wet like my grandbaby diaper, and I was disturbed.
You clocked it, Candy. You clocked it.
Hillary, he had on a butt pad because he wants to give the illusion that the BBL worked. It did not. It failed miserably. And let me tell you something. I don't have a real big butt, but I never needed a butt pad because this face is tea. If you got a nice face, men really don't care about having big butts. That's why I don't know why he went in there. He hasn't been to one dermatologist. All he knows that trailer refrigerator is with soda. I've never seen Joe drink ice water.
Candy.
So I know that piss green.
Somebody got that video when he was in Goals, when Goals played in their face, where he was laying up on that table. If y'all can get that video to me, because what I remember from that video, the way they went in there to do it, all they pulled out of there was HIT, a bunch of horse,
My thing is, why would you allow them people? Why would you allow Goals of all people to cut you open when you had just had weight loss surgery because you were obese, morbidly obese, and then you let faulty, horrible review Goals cut you open, and you didn't even let them people microblade your ass with them bumps? There's no way they would have recorded me like that. No way. No way.
Well, they get endorsements. That's like their endorsements. They've been using their page a lot to like shout out businesses that are giving them free food and services and what.
Oh, hold on a second, y'all. Pretty girl, welcome in.
Hi, pretty girl.
Unmute, pretty girl. Girls.
Hi, ladies. Hello, Miss Hillary. Hello. I'm so glad you're here.
How are you?
I am fine. I am sending love and light from ATL from Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been following you for so long, and I tell you, I am sick of the two of them. Oh my God, I'm sick of them. But my question is, do anybody know how they met? I mean, I've been following them and, watching their pages and just getting all the information. And no one has stated how the two of them met.
Well, they went on, not to interrupt you.
Because the story keeps changing.
There's two stories. They've changed. What I remember when I was watching, first they went on some other radio show, and they said they met on an app. But I got tea and I got receipts stating that Joe worked for Charles' dad. Joe was taking care of Charles' dad, and initially Charles didn't like Joe. That's the two stories I heard, but I know the one for a fact was Joe used to take care of Charles' dad. Now you can assume from there.
Okay. Okay. And so basically, Charles' dad probably passed away because I mean, I don't know, but I just watched some of his videos and it seemed like Joe was living in public housing and Charles' dad or something must have happened because Charles started living with Joe in public housing. And that's when I saw somebody posted a video when Joe had purchased a land and he was saying that, let me in my house and all this stuff. So somehow Joe was staying in public housing. And in order for Joe to stay in public housing, then he had to begin some type of public assistance. And if that happened, then it's true. I'm assuming that he's getting some type of public assistance, i.e. Social Security, if he's able to live in public housing, like Gabe stated before.
But hold on one second. I want you to keep going with your thought. But what I'm saying is this: that, and I don't never speak on people who passed away, and God, if he did, I send my condolences to his family.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
However, but if Big Joe was cooking for that man, I would have the body exhumed and have an autopsy done, because the way he cooked could hurt somebody.
Yeah.
The way that man,
I've never seen anybody put sugar in fettuccine.
Did you see what he did to them Cornish hens and that dressing and the potato salad and that cabbage?
Yes.
Who puts green peppers in cabbage?
Exactly. And all that sugar. But it's just something about Joe, and he says that everybody know them, but something about them two is just not adding up. It's just, I don't know, I can't put my hand on it, but something just don't add up with the two of them. It's just something strange.
Joe was an unloved child, and this attention is gone to his head. He was unloved. He was unloved, unattractive, and overweight. So